Yep. So, hello everybody. Welcome back to another episode. I'm back with Ramya today. So, Ramya is the founder and the director of Visdo. So, thank you very, very much for being here. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you very much.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you so much, Lakshit, for having me here. It's a pleasure to be in your channel. Yes.
Yeah, my pleasure to have. Yeah, thank you very much. So, before we begin, Ramya, that would be great if you could, tell more about yourself, what you do, and yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. So basically, I'm having this firm called Wisdo Training and Consulting, wherein we cater to the services for online coaches. For example, there are so many coaches out there who are really awesome and they have amazing content to deliver and inspire people around them. But what they lack is a team which can help them promote themselves, to have a support system for lead generation, for lead nurturing, or any kind of operations which most of the coaches actually find it difficult to do themselves. So that's the pain point that we are addressing in this current scenario, wherein we are helping online coaches. Nowadays, even offline is started off, and we are helping in the complete end-to-end support for them. So basically, we do everything for them except delivering the course on their behalf.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the one segment of what we're doing. Apart from that, we also do corporate trainings, which we've been doing for the last more than 3 years. And yes, these are the two main factors, that's main segments of our company. And to tell about myself, I am myself a coach. I'm a trainer and coach for public speaking and presentation skills. So, and I also have a program which is called as Exceptionalism, when I help people be exceptional in whichever field they are by identifying their specialty, their uniqueness. That's about it.
Wonderful, wonderful, Ramya. So, what was the whole idea behind starting Wisdo? Why did you think that there is a need of something called Wisdo, or something called as a company who caters and helps speakers? Why do you think that there was a need of it?
Good question, Lakshit. Actually, this was an accidental, service that we started. So we started off with spreading wisdom, and that's how the word wisdom came. So our whole idea was, I have a partner with me, Mr. Mehta. So both of us are founders of this company, wherein we are very, very passionate about training people. We see there's a lot of scarcity of the right kind of trainings for people to equip themselves. There's so much of opportunity, but when somebody goes to find the right kind of person for something, they do not get. Why? Because they lack few skills which they want to equip, but they don't find the right trainers. So we started off by training and consulting, how the firm name is now. So we started off training workshops, training for corporates, training for colleges, schools, and also public workshops. So as we were in this journey, so that's when we identified what is the pain point that these coaches are facing. So from spreading wisdom, we started helping people who are spreading wisdom. So that we jumped into that service right now, because there's so many people who are coaches. We were promoting, we were helping people to coach, but then what pain points the coaches were having was a lot. And that's when we thought we really need to step into this system, wherein we create a complete ecosystem for them to help them reach out to their right audience. So it was intention number one was to spread wisdom, and number two is to help people who spread wisdom.
Yeah,
Yes.
totally. And when things were starting off, when we were taking off, and first the name itself is unique. From the word wisdom, you create wisdom, and then you help people and all of that. So in the starting days of it, how were the things happening? How like what were the responses of speakers who you were getting in connected with, and how were things happening that time?
Okay. All right. So yeah, it's not always a smooth sail. It's a rocky start. So we need to create a branding. We need to create that kind of noise around the world to show people that we are existing and what are we doing. And only when people understand what we're doing, we get the right kind of business, right? So it was. We started off slowly by helping a one coach or a couple of coaches doing offline workshops. We have been doing workshops pan India, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Delhi, Mumbai, and Chennai, where we are based out of. So these are the journey took us, since we were into offline coaching primarily. So that was really hectic. We need to go find the right spot for the trainings, the right hall, the the hotel, the whole infrastructure needs to be arranged, the event management. It was a lot of struggle in the beginning, but it was awesome. The challenge was awesome. The whole effort that we are putting inside, and then we reap the success. That's the whole happiness of being in a business, right? The happiness is when the effort you put in is lot, and then the success that you get. That's when you relish the happiness. It's just like cooking a dish which is so difficult to cook, and then after you eat it, you feel like, wow, this is so yummy and awesome. And that's when you forget all the effort that went into in the beginning. So that same thing applies in business. So now, since we are having an array of trainers, a platter of services to offer, it all started very small and with a lot of challenges, of course. And now we are seeing the benefits of all the challenges our team and our we put into it.
Yeah, great. um and how were things changing? So if you can tell me that, how many years have you existed, and how can you please tell me that first, like then I can put the question up.
Yeah, so we've been 5 years into this business with a different name 3 years back, and then Wisdom is 3 years old. Actually, it's actually 3 years old right now, and yeah, that's the whole number of years of experience that we've been having, and serving people to get the right kind of training.
Yeah, totally wonderful. Putting the next question up here is, so how did things change when COVID came and you went online? How were things happening, and how did things become and shape? How did it change when you came and moved to online?
Yes, so it was COVID was a blessing in disguise for us at Wisdom. That's because, as I told you, we were catering to coaches and coaching and training, which was mostly offline before pandemic. After pandemic happened, almost every individual is aware of online coaching, because everywhere there's a child who's attending an online school. Everywhere people want to learn more, who are going digital, they're not able to step out of their homes. So that's when the whole awareness about online coaching started to grow extravagantly. So that's how Wisdo found that now is the time for us to, we had to move into the whole system of online coaching, services. So that was, in fact, we even had a scheduled offline workshop, and then the lockdown happened. So we had to move that offline workshop into an online workshop. So that's how the transition happened due to necessity, and now it's a boon. We are able to cross boundaries, because now there's nothing like only a Bangalore workshop or a Chennai workshop. It's happening across boundaries, across India, across the world. So we are able to now we have a proper system in place. We have invested on digital systems and applications and tools, because now this is the mandatory investment, rather than the halls or the tea, the high tea, or the lunch that we're giving in. So now we have invested on all online applications and tools. Systems are in place to serve the online coaches perfectly.
Yeah, totally wonderful. Just some more 2-3 questions I would like to put up here is, what does, when you are into a job setup, when you work, like say 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 or 10 to 8 or whatever, you have, that this is the time I have to work. But when you move beyond that, and when you get into a work where you are the boss, you are the employee, you are the peon, or everything, it's you. How does life change? How did things change for you when you got into starting Wisdo and being a working at Wisdo? Yeah.
Okay, good question to take. Almost 7 years of corporate life I've had, so I know how the 9 to 5 job is as well. And to talk about my personal life, and when my baby happened, that's when I decided to quit, because I wanted time for my baby, to spend time, because I was working in IT, and almost 9 to 5, 6, 7, 8, it keeps extending. So I wanted to have time for myself and decide how much time I spend for work. And that's how I started off my entrepreneurship journey. And as time has been passing by, just like how you said, it's like you are having to keep your hands on everything, the sales and marketing, the client servicing, the operations, and everything. Yes. So of course the time that we spend is up to us to decide when to do what. So when, as an entrepreneur, you get to understand the requirement, prioritize what are the actual activities to be taken care of, delegate the right things to the right people. It's all about planning. It's not about the time is completely spent for business, but it's about planning whom to delegate what kind of team to, how to give the independence and the freedom to the team to take decisions and take ownership. So when you give your team the ownership and the freedom to give ideas themselves, that's when you can step back and work on the business and in the business. But of course, it does take a lot of time, and it doesn't. It's not like once you open your, you have your startup, immediately you get everything to be delegated. You have to do everything, running around for everything. As I thought, I would have more time for my baby once I'm in business. It wasn't that way in the beginning. I had to put in more time, but this time it was more of pleasure doing that. It wasn't like work, it was like doing something that you love. And when you do something that you love, you don't even think that time is being spent on that. Oh my God, I'm working. That doesn't happen. So I can have my baby in my hand and I can keep working, whatever I'm doing. So it was like in the beginning, I had to put all my time in, and now we have a team. So for each thing, each tasks we can delegate, and the team delegates to their subordinates. So everything is happening now in such a way that I have time for myself, I have time for my family, and yes, I need to spend time on my business as well.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. So just last one more question I would like to put up here, Ramya, is what would be your advice to entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, wishing to be entrepreneurs, lady entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, or young entrepreneurs? What would be your advice to them?
Yes, my advice to anybody who is starting off a business and who is starting up would be believe in yourself. Believe in the thought that why did you start the business? Because the journey is not going to be rosy. The journey is not going to be smooth. You're going to face situations where you feel like, oh my God, let me drop this down. Oh my God, this is like too much to handle. Oh my God, I'm not doing well as I was expecting to. Things will be going wrong here and there. You will have nights when you're going to sit and cry. You will have days where you're going to roam around places and not have anything productive to happen. But don't give up on yourself. Think of why you started. Do not leave your passion towards it. And when you believe in yourself and in the thought that why you started off, everything will fall into place because you're going to start working towards that. The more positivity you have in you, the more positive actions you'll take, and the more positive results will happen. Once you get into the negative thought process, the negative belief system starts to seep in, the action that you take also will be negative, and you will get negative results. It's just like a vicious circle. So believe in yourself. That's the biggest advice I can give to anybody who is starting off. Thank you.
Great, great. Thank you very, very much for being here. Thank you very much for joining in a small session to a lot of
My
things to
pleasure.
learn and know. I enjoyed it. I hope people who watch it enjoy it and love it too. So thank you very much. Thank you very, very much for being here.
Thank you so much, Lakshmi, for having me. It's been a pleasure and wishing you all the best. You're doing
Thank
a
you.
great
Thank
job.
you.